All right, what's going on YouTube? So, I'm gonna try to put out a video every Monday. I think is my goal, for this. So this week we do got another mock draft video, and I was struggling between deciding on doing 2.0, and getting a little crazy with it, or doing a 7 round. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a 7 round, and I think I've been doing this for the past 2 years now. This is my third year doing it. Every time I've done a 7 round mock draft, the first team I always do is the Steelers because that's my favorite team. As I've said in videos before, we got a poster right here, Steelers poster in my room. So yeah, let's get it going, I guess. We'll go normal speed. Should be good. I wish Neymar would get off the screen. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. Um, Will Levis going second is crazy. Um, Wow, CJ Stroud goes 16th to the Commanders. That's hilarious. So I'm gonna reject all these trade offers just because some of these are like really bad. Like, yeah, like some of these trade offers that they give me are really bad. And this is so unrealistic. So unrealistic because Jalen Carter, there's no way I don't think Jalen Carter is on the board at 17. Like, there's no actual way. Yeah. But also let me say this real quick before I start making a pick. As a Steelers fan, this is my personal like preference, I guess. So with these first couple picks, 17, 32, 49, 80, I'd be looking at four main positions, maybe five, or at some point it does become like best player available. That would be offensive tackle, corner. Those are probably the two biggest ones, along with linebacker, D line, and then maybe a wide receiver. Um, And then after that, with these three picks, 120, 236, 243, these two are seventh rounders, and this is a fourth. I'd be looking at just like depth pieces. Maybe if we didn't get one of those positions that we are looking at with the first four picks, maybe you go there then. That would be more where I'm looking at a wide receiver, probably, stuff like that. Um, or just like again, like depth guys, like a backup tight end, a backup running back, a backup edge rusher, a backup safety, stuff like that. Um, in this, I want to try to be realistic here because I honestly don't think that either one, Jalen Carter or Jordan Addison, would be on the board here. I do think that somebody like Jackson Smith and Jigba could be, or Brian Bresee could be, or Cam Smith, Keely Ringo, these guys could be. But like I feel like I've always done these, which is however the board falls. I'm gonna restart this. Actually, I'm gonna give this mock draft database one more chance to let Jalen Carter go before 17 because he definitely will. Okay, there we go. He goes number one overall that time. Okay, so this feels more realistic. Watching these picks go by, it looks a lot more realistic than the last one did. Okay, now where we are in this situation, the corners are probably not the pick here. I personally am gonna pick Broderick Jones. However, let me make my case for some of these picks. Jordan Addison, I wouldn't be opposed to. Brian Branch, I would not be opposed to. Jackson Smith and Jigba wouldn't necessarily be opposed to. Same Brian Bresee, Cam Smith, Keely Ringo, Cyrus Torrance, Trent Simpson. Like there's a lot of guys here that I wouldn't be opposed to. But in this very case, if Broderick Jones is on the board, I would want us to pick him at 17, and that would be the pick. Um, Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers. It's a guy to watch out for. I think he's gonna start flying up boards. Like what? What is that? One, two, three, four seventh round picks, a future third and a fourth, a fifth, and a second. Like that's crazy. Seeing DeJuan Jones still being on the board there isn't terrible. Here at 32 now, I think Emmanuel Forbes, yeah, Emmanuel Forbes has got to be the pick here. I definitely think. Again, offensive tackle and corner are our two biggest needs in my opinion. You probably look linebacker, D line at 49. But again, it all depends on how the board falls, obviously. But yeah, so how the board fell here. At 49, uh, I could see us taking one of these three guys. Let me look at D line. Oh man, there's just really wide receivers aren't great, man. See, like Jahmyr Gibbs is so good. Jahmyr Gibbs is so good. I wouldn't be opposed to taking Dalton Kincaid here because they're probably losing Zach Gentry and then having like a two tight end set would be cool. However, I'm gonna go a weird route here. Terrell Edmonds is a free agent. Um, and I wouldn't be sad if we didn't re-sign him, if you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna say this is in the case that we don't. We pick Antonio Johnson right there to replace him. I like that. So our next pick is at 80, so we got a little while here. So that's like a, you know, one of those weird picks, I guess, right there where you don't really might not expect it or something. So now you're probably again you're at 80. Now you're looking at linebacker and Henry Toa still being here is probably the pick. Jaqueline Roy wouldn't be terrible. Yeah. I'm gonna go Henry Toa. I think it's how you say it, Toa. I think it's Toa is how you say it, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, that would be my pick there. And I will, kind of like recap, go back over these here in a minute. So now I'd be looking at D line at 120 right here. And the guy that I really want, that I really like, and I think has potential to fly up draft boards, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on him, is this man right here, Byron Young out of Alabama. If you watch, he's got some good pass rush, I think it is, moves. I think it's pass rush. It's one of the two, pass rush or run stopping ability. And then at 236 and 243, I would probably say you look best player available, or you might look wide receiver. I'm probably gonna go wide receiver. And then after that, it's just like a best player available, probably. Ronnie Bell wouldn't be terrible, but I highly doubt he makes it. We're still at like 190, so we still got about what 47 picks, 46 picks before we get there. Looking down the board, Demario Douglas, Jake Bobo, maybe. Darius Davis isn't terrible because Darius Davis he's kind of like a return man also. And we'd love to have a wide receiver at return man. I'd look. Look at best player available, like who's on the board here. I wouldn't be opposed to like getting another D lineman or another offensive tackle, something like that. I think I'm gonna take this kid right here, though. Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm gonna take this kid out of South Alabama, Daryl Luter Jr. As just like a depth corner. Oh, I should have took Zach Kuntz. Dang. And then I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Darius Davis with the last pick. Try kind of get like a slot receiver / return man there. But yeah. Okay. So let's talk about these real quick. Broderick Jones. We all know, these top guys we kind of, already know about. Broderick Jones is a big offensive tackle. He would be replacing Dan Moore Jr. at left tackles would be my assumption. Really good pass block and run blocker, just a really physical tackle. A big body to put on that line, and he's from Georgia, and Georgia's been the place for the past couple of years for offensive linemen, especially tackles. At 32, Emmanuel Forbes, kind of like a longer body corner out of Mississippi State. He would be hopefully pairing up with Cam Sutton. I hope we re-sign Cam Sutton. And there is rumors out there that wow, I took guys from all big schools. No, I didn't. I took a South Alabama player. Anyways, all SEC schools except for two. That's crazy. Anyways, yeah, Emmanuel Forbes to me, and I could be wrong about this, and if I am, you can call me out on it, but Emmanuel Forbes, body-wise, reminds me a little bit of a Trayvon Diggs mold. But yeah, longer arms, stuff like that. I wish they would like give like analysis on some of these guys. That'd be nice, but they don't. And that would be, cornerback 2 for us, if not cornerback 1, if he can develop into it. Antonio Johnson, again, I kind of explained it when picking him, would be a Terrell Edmonds replacement at safety. I did see something on, I think it was on Instagram talking about this, about how we could re-sign Edmonds and draft a safety or go get a safety. And move Edmonds into like a more inside linebacker role and replace Devin Bush. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that on a 1-year contract and see how it works. But again, I'd also rather go the youth route, draft a guy like Antonio Johnson, just replace him and, let him go, maybe be better somewhere else. Henry Toa, this is, one of those run stopping linebackers, middle linebackers from Alabama. I think that would match up well with Miles Jack, where, Miles Jack's more of a pass coverage middle linebacker. So, we have the, little dynamic duo there. Byron Young, again, is a guy, he's a defensive lineman. I really like some of the stuff I've seen from him. Pass rush, I think it is really good. And just the moves on the line that he makes are really, I think, being slept on. Go watch some tape on him. Watch the moves. He's a big guy, but he's fast. Darrell Luter Jr., going to be honest, I know nothing about him. And then Darius Davis, again, is one of those guys I said is kind of like a return specialist, maybe slot wide receiver, and we're probably losing Steven Sims, so he would replace him. But yeah, that's my 7-round mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers, my favorite team. And yeah, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.